Hello, hello, hello. Coming on here real quick. Just to give you a little bit of a recap review for the latest episode of Love Island. It is really winding down, guys, and so now more than ever, everyone's choice in terms of who they'd like to couple with is becoming more and more important. So we do have some usual couples getting together. Obviously, those include the newly official Sally and Johnny. We also have Justine and Caleb. And there's also, Moira and Calvin. So all of them are, very happy, it seems. There were some people, obviously, who did have some things to sort out. And that was Carrington, who you see here. And he's not sorting it out between those two ladies. But when he started out on Love Island, he had a thing with Kierstan. Kierstan and him really hit it off. It looked like they were getting things for the best. But she wound up having to leave because she did not hit things off with Bennett. And even said so herself that Carrington essentially ruined things for her. Because after that, she always had a thing for him. He went to Casa Amor and found Laurel, brought her back. Then when Lakekyn arrived, picture here in the purple, he found himself between these two ladies. And no, he's not between Justine and Sally. They are obviously happily coupled up with Caleb and Johnny, respectively. But Carrington, he has some things to decide. He has some explaining to do. And that's because he really hit things off with Laurel. But when Lakekyn arrived, he noticed he had a spark with Lakekyn. Things were a little bit more automatic with Lakekyn. And he was just overall seemed to be more attracted to Lakekyn. However, I believe because of all the pressure in the island, he did not choose to be with her in the last recoupling. He chose to be with Laurel. Laurel was giving him the emotionally abusive tactic called silent treatment. And Carrington was returning the favor. And they both shared and talked about it too. Sat down and talked about it. And she was still pretty much all in with him. She really I almost feel like she loves him already. And that's probably why it hurts so bad for her, among other things. And he chose her in the end. I didn't know who he was going to choose. He was talking like it was going to be Lakekyn at first, and it sounded totally like Laurel. And then I was like, oh. And then he chose Laurel. And I think it was kind of sad because it could be good. Okay, let's say why it could be good. It could be good because maybe Laurel brought out that side of him to be less selfish and say, hey, it's not always going to be about me. It's time for me to grow up. And that's maybe what she brought out of him, the grow up time in Carrington to, be a man. The grass is always going to look greener on the other side in some instances, potentially. And even in a healthy relationship, perhaps. But, when you make a commitment with someone and it's not an unhealthy relationship and, you have to continue to build emotional, attachment with that person. Otherwise, it's never gonna last. And so I think that's kind of the vibe I'm kind of getting from him in his decision. But to be honest, I also feel like he was under a lot of pressure. Like looked like he was about to cry. And it could have just been like he was about to cry because he didn't want to hurt Laurel. So then maybe that's a really good thing. He didn't want to hurt her. That means he cares about her. But then it could have also just been because of all the pressure. And, he didn't want to step out and connect further with Lakekyn Lakekyn is very familiar to him because of, well, I was going to say because of the spark, because, you know, he's probably used to getting to relationships where there's an instant attraction, but maybe that's not working for him. But the other reason why she's very familiar to him is because of the fact that they have a lot of shared kind of life situations and like life experiences and that sort of thing. So that's why she seems very familiar to him. And I think in this upcoming episode, Lakekyn's going to have an issue and take him to task for his choice because he kind of made it seem like he was going to choose her. But then in the end, he did not. And I don't know if that was him buckling to pressure or if that was him feeling like, oh, I need to grow up. Let me be a man, stick with a commitment. But he and Laurel don't have an official commitment like Sally and Johnny do. And this is Love Island. So let's see what he's going to do. What do you all think? Do you think he was buckling under pressure to, basically like social and peer pressure? Like, oh, choose Laurel. She's a nice girl. She's really sweet, And then also, getting down to the end and he's already kind of built something with her. If he goes with Lakekyn, it's totally new, even though he feels that. Well, anyway, you could rewind and see the reasons why I've given because I didn't write this stuff down. Let me know what you think, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Enjoy your evening. I know I will. Bye.